Yes, awesome. So you can follow along this presentation in this site. I'm going to just drop the link here. So you will probably see something like this. So you can, this is the homepage, this is the things that you're going to require. I guess that you already have installed SARA and Quarto. And if you want to follow along, you can, you have the links here. And it is also recommended to have a GitHub account. I'm not sure if you are familiar with GitHub, but that would be something super cool. So if once we are done with this, with the presentation, if you want to follow along the exercise that we're going to see, you can create a GitHub account and follow along the exercise by yourself, or contact me by LinkedIn if you need any help. And the slides that we are seeing are here in the slides page. So you can simply grab them here and you will see everything that we're going to see today. So let me just go with my speaker view for me. And we're going to go full screen. Awesome, you have a account already. So you will be able to do the exercises hardly. Let me introduce myself. My name is Betsabe Cohen. I'm from Buenos Aires. I'm a sociologist. I am part of the I'm currently a master's student degree in statistics here in Buenos Aires. And I'm part of the Our Ladies Organizations, which is a global organization that promotes gender diversity in their community. And I'm also part of an organization of my own, what I have with another fellow sociologist here in Buenos Aires, which is a Núcleo de Innovación Social. And we are an interdisciplinary research and development team. We come from different backgrounds, but we all try to code in R and Python also. And give social solutions to different problems here in Buenos Aires. We have a lot, so you can imagine. The idea for today, for our agenda for today, let me go here, is to talk a bit about why we should follow some reproducible systems and why reproducibility is important for us as scientists. What is Quarto and how it is related to reproducibility? Some core uses and a short work around the Quarto environment. And how we can use it in the academic production with Quarto journal and manuscripts. We're going to see that there's a small difference between these two approaches. One with journal templates, we're going to see some of them, and a Quarto manuscript project, how it is built, which are the differences with the journal templates. And we're going to use and do some exercises along with citation, cross-references, and authoring. And then we're going to have like a quick overview on what we can learn some more from, where we can learn some more. So I'm going to just drop the link so you can follow along. It's important to remark that we are taking information from the Quarto manuscript's official documentation, and some slides and different videos from Mine, and I will not pronounce her name correctly, so please forgive me. Mine Santishkasha Randall, which is part of POSIT community, and I highly recommend to see these videos afterwards. And also the Turing way. So why reproducibility? So there are several different definitions of reproducibility. in use, but in the context of this meeting, we will refer to reproducibility in a computational reproducibility, which is a hard word to say. So when detailed information, it means when detailed information is provided about code, software, hardware, and implementation details. And in other words, it means that someone else, or maybe you, even in a few months, in 6 months, from now can take your data and your code and run it again and get the same results. So that's the main idea that we are touching over here. In research, this ensures transparency, trust, and the ability to build upon previous works. So it's like leaving breadcrumbs, through the forest and for analysis, so you don't get lost in what you have already built. So that's kind of the idea. If you have the chance to go to the Turing Way, just don't miss it, because it's a fantastic book to start with these issues. The different dimensions of reproducible research described in this matrix that we see here have the following definitions that are important for us. And that maybe we can remind for future self. Reproducible is a result. The result that is the same way, the same analysis step performed on the same data set consistently. It produces the same answer. So that is something that we should keep on. Replicable, which is different, is a result that is replicable when the same analysis performed on different data sets produces qualitatively similar answers, but it's not just the same. Something could also be robust. So a result which is robust when the same data set is subjected to different analysis over your workflows to answer the same research questions. For example, one pipeline written in R and another written in Python, and the qualitative similars or identical answers is produced. So that is something that we mean that is robust. So the robust results show that the work is not dependent on the specificities of the programming languages chosen to perform the analysis. So no matter what languages you are using, so you have the same results. And generalizable, it is that you're combining replicable and robust findings, and that allowed us to form generalized results. So you can know that running an analysis on a different software implementation and with the different data sets does not provide maybe generalized results. So there will be many more steps to know how to work applies to all different aspects of the research question. So reproducible code is the code that runs consistently and automatically and produces the same outputs, the same tables, the same plots, the same models. So base results into Word or PowerPoint or wherever you're using, you write the same scripts and you generate this full report. So that is that minimizes the errors. Of course, it will save you a lot of time and lets you research, live, breathe alongside your data. When you regarding what we mean by open research, it aims to transform by making it more reproducible, transparent, and reusable, and to be to allow to collaborate and to be accountable and accessible to society. So here the Turing Way, which is the source that I mentioned before, which is an open community that drives this project that has produced a handbook to reproducible, ethical, and collaborative data science. It's just like a small checklist. So by open data, we mean that we ensure your data is in a simple standard format or format which is a machine human readable. We check you have to check to reformat or create metadata to clearly describe what the data is. I'm sure it happens to you that maybe you get some data set from somewhere and you don't know what some things means, like what is X1? I don't know. I don't have a clue. So metadata is going to be to make your life so much easier, and it's key for open data research. To also identify relevant, easily discover a repository, or maybe a repository to host your data and upload it there, as we mentioned before, GitHub or another GitLab or whatever you're using. So to assign your data, maybe a persistent identifier such as DOI. So that would be something that would make so much easier to get into open research. So open notebooks, open access software as SARA, the one that we're going to see today. So along this presentation, I'm going to talk about notebooks in the same way I talk about Quarto files. So it's what it means exactly the same in this context. But it is important to, I don't know, for instance, to include a README file, to other things that are related to in terms of hardware, like make detailed documentation on your designs, include license grantorings to others if you're copying information from other people. In terms of open access, to publish your research in an open access journal, to store a copy or maybe I was mentioning, to keep notes in maybe an electronic lab notebook, or publicly to make it to be public accessible online. So those are things that we are going to care when we are talking about open research. So just like some tips to have. So what is Quarto exactly? Quarto is an open source scientific and technical publishing system, as I mentioned here, and it will allow you to, let me move this here so I can see you, and it will allow you to create dynamic content and with Python, with R, with Julia, and observable, so you can manage different languages in the same platform. And also you can publish and publish reproducible production qualities, articles, presentations, dashboard, websites, blogs, books, and all of that can have different, can be in HTML, PDF, maybe an EPUB, and more. So that is like very flexible in terms of the outputs you can have. You can share knowledge and insights about all along your organization by publishing it to POSIT content or Confluence or other publishing systems that are connected to R and to Quarto. Write using Panda Markdown. So I don't know if you already are using Markdown. I guess you do. If you have already used our Markdown, you're going to it's going to look like very familiar for you, and it's going and it will allow you to all the cool things that Markdown has, like including equations, citations, court references, and a lot of things that work more smoothly, in my opinion, and callouts, advanced layout, and more. So what would be like the workflow if you have like a look? Here we have an artwork from Hello Quarto, which is one of the keynotes that I mentioned before that I was using as source. And I highly recommend Hallington Horst illustrations, which are beautiful. So you have like one Quarto file, then you can need it, maybe if you're using Jupyter, but you can use RStudio or whatever other ID you're using, and you need it, or maybe you use Jupyter or you need it, and then you get the Markdown and it goes through Pandoc And then you got all of these different outputs that you can have. So if you have worked with our Markdown before, this kind of approach maybe looks familiar for you, as I mentioned before. And but it's like for me, it's like an improvement and like a different generation of Markdown in a way. And it also allows you to do things that we were not allowing in Markdown, like for instance, all of the things regarding with the with web pages and the different how they are connected between each other. That wasn't something like Markdown was allowing us to do. Maybe we should, if you use Hugo or something, but no. And then, so Quarto, one of the coolest things about Quarto is that you can mash up different languages, not only for R, but you can also use Julia, Observable, or Python. So, so the idea is to go to a multi-language next generation version of our Markdown from POSIT with many of the new features and capabilities. Like our Markdown Quarto uses need, so to execute our code, and it's therefore able to render most exciting RMDs. If you already have an RMD file, you just change the extension and you have the Quarto file. So some use cases that we have for Quarto are the dynamic documents, presentations, of course, the scientific Markdown that is what we're going to see today, websites and books, and of course, interactivity. So you can take a visit to Quarto Gallery here and just drop in the link. So just let's take a short walk around. So to install Quarto, you're going to go to quarto.org and you're going to go to this Get Started section. And you just, first you have to have already installed R or whatever other ID you're using. And you're going to first go to this step, which is the step 1, and then mind your system, of course. And then you have to choose the ID you're going to be using. There's also positron available. So if some of you are digging into positron already, you can go to positron too. So to create a Quarto file in a project that we already have existed, maybe you have an R project which is already there, and you want to have a Quarto file over there. So you're going to go to File, New File, and then click on Quarto Document. But if you want to create a Quarto project, which is like a different approach to go to this to have the files, you can and to create like the whole amount of files that are included in the Quarto project, you can go to create a new Quarto project and click on Quarto project. You have also other kinds of Quarto projects that you can dig into, like the Quarto books, blogs, websites. Of course, you can integrate some for your Quarto dashboards. You can integrate some Shiny applications there. So there's like a transition between Quarto dashboards and Shiny dashboards, if you're interested in that. So the general folder structure in a Quarto project. So when you create a Quarto project, like the one that we see here, not just the Quarto file, you're going to have something like this. It's kind of pixel, sorry for the image, but the idea is this. So when you create a Quarto project, you will have automatically created this folder where you have this the R project, which is corresponding to the project that you have already created, your Quarto document, which is this .qmd, and you will also have this Quarto YAML here, which is like it's kind of, it goes for the entire project. So it's different from the YAML that you're going to have inside your Quarto file. And the Quarto YAML for the entire project is it's like some kind of, it will tell your Quarto document what things to do and how to structure, and it includes some metadata about the whole project, not just the Quarto file. I'm not sure this difference is clear. We're going to dig into that later on. If you have any questions, just drop them here in the box. So when you UMD file, it has a structure like similar to this. You have like your YAML here first. Probably this will look different if you're going to a visual mode or later on. Format your editor, and you have to choose like a lot of things about regarding metadata about the file, not the project, which is different. So if you have worked before with our Markdown, this probably looks familiar to you, and you will have this. Apart from that, you will have all of the one of the differences that you're going to have is that the options that were before inside this are definition for the chunk now are going to be here using like this hashtag pipe space, and you can have all of the options that you are going to determine for your chunk. I don't know how many of you have worked with our Markdown before. Probably, maybe some of you. I don't know. So the YAML will have also this. We will have the metadata about our file, like the title, the format, and the stuff, and then you will have the titles and the plain text that you can play here, and your chunks. So remember that I mentioned this visual and source mode, so you can choose the visual and source mode here on the top of your table. So the Quarto Visual Editor is currently available as a feature of our Studio ID. So if you're using our Studio, it's going to be like more smooth to use it. And the Visual Editor will eventually also be made available in the standalone form. So probably they will apply it in Positron. I'm not using Positron yet, but I guess it's going to be available there soon if it's not already there. So you can switch over the source and the editor, and things should look pretty familiar to you. So the visual editor, where you get the documentary that feels like maybe similar to a Google Doc or in an app like Notion. And there are a little bit more to see what you get. It's something like that. So for example, as I have some information about the data set, and I may want to bold name maybe for a package or something, I can just like cross it over and click on bold, like here, and it's going to be bold or Italica or whatever it is. So it is super cool if you're not familiar with code. Or maybe you're not familiar with the source, and it's going to be so much more easier to work around with code. And then you have some like tricks by actually adding some, you can access in the visual mode some shortcuts. So you can add some bullets, number lists, definition lists, images, all the cool things about Quarto. You can access them by adding like bar like this. I don't know the name of the character, which is here. So you just click on that, and you will have this list here that is going to appear in your visual mode, and it's super cool. So easy to use. So here's like a small example on how it works. You go to how to insert your chunks. I probably know that you know. You go to insert code chunk, and you're going to simply insert the code chunk. And this is the thing that I was mentioning before. So you can insert also chunk codes using this bar, and it's going to be there. And then some code chunk options. I'm not sure if you're familiar with this, but it is that is something that is going to be specific then for the things that we're going to be seeing as citations. The way that we use the options are going to be here on the top of our chunks. And it's our Markdown part allows us to control the different aspects on how the chunks are going to behave along our code. So we can just go here and add, maybe for instance, if you're going to go for, you don't want to, maybe you're loading some packages and you don't want the warnings to have when you load, maybe, for instance, when you load tidyverse, and you don't want the warning to be there. So you're going to just click on the warning options and put false, and it's not going to appear in your final document. So that is something like it's cool to have. And then you have then you can perform some specifics that are going to some options that you can set on your YAML here over on the top, and they are going to affect all of the chunks that you're going to use along your file, your Quarto file. So, for instance, if you don't want to show the code by default, and you just want to fold it and unfold it here by clicking here, you can fold and unfold your code. So you can go here and use the option for to set all around your document to fold and unfold. So code fold will be true, and that would be like all of your document is going to have like this code folding for true, unless you specify in some code chunk that you don't want it. So, but the cool thing is that you don't have to go all of your code chunks like specifying that. You just specify it on the YAML and that's it. So some code chunks options that you can add to Quarto options to code cells by adding this hashtag pi comments to the top, follow that the option in YAML. For example, adding the echo option, that's also key to have. The echo option with the value true, that would be something like this. So the echo option describes wherever the code is included and it renders the article. So if you make this change and save your maybe index.qmd, you will see this code now appears in the article. So you can have some code. If you want to go around on the old code chunk options, I'm leaving the link here so you can check that and have like a dictionary. This is also cool because it's the way that are going to be there. So let's dig into the Quarto for manuscripts and journal articles. So with Quarto, as I mentioned before, it can be author in your favorite code editor. You don't have to necessarily use RStudio if you want to. You can apply journal styles to your outputs with Quarto extensions, and orchestrate multiple inputs and outputs with the embed computing using something that we're going to see, which is the Quarto project type manuscript. Yeah. So it produces more manuscripts in multiple formats. So you can use LaTeX or Word formats or the formats that are required by your journals, and give readers like an easy access to all of your formats through the website. And of course, you can publish the computations from one or more notebooks. So that is something that is going to be the difference between the manuscripts and the journals. And alongside the manuscript, and it's going to be inside your manuscript and allowing readers to dive into your code and view or interact with a virtual environment. And of course, you can publish them on GitHub pages or Netlify or whatever other services that you're using. We are not going to go through so much about the publication itself, because it's just like having your account and publish it. But we're going to go through the details on how to do all these other things. So what is the difference between journals and manuscripts? So in Quarto, journal refers to like a single document, potentially with embed computations and visualizations designed for publications in a journal format. But while the manuscript, on the other hand, represents like a collection of Quarto documents and potentially including multiple chapters that are intended to be assembled like a book-like structure. So in the manuscript, in the manuscript type, you're going to have it's going to be much more richer. So if you're just one single document and I don't want to share like the whole bunch of computations that were behind, maybe a journal will be just fine. But I strongly recommend the manuscript type collection because I feel that it's more related with what we were talking about at the beginning, with following along all the computations that are behind, and they are included inside the document. So if you want to start a Quarto journal, which is like the first approach, you can go to github.quarto.com and go to Quarto journals. And there you will have like, I don't know if it's like clear here, but you have like a lot of types of the different kinds of journal publishers, and you can install them very easily. And we're going to see an example now. But you have, I don't know, the American Chemical Society, the American Statistical Association Journal, which I use a lot. And there's a lot of other different templates. So you don't have to mind about how it is looking. Just go and drag the template and start writing. So to install the template for your terminal, you go and you choose, I don't know if here you can see it, but you have the Quarto use template, Quarto, journal, and whatever format you're using. And you just copy that and you paste it in your terminal. Here I pasted the JSON. And then you just have to execute and install, I say the about trust, and create a subdirectory, of course, for the project. And of course, a directory name. And just type in the name there. So once you have that, you will have a project like that will look something like this. I'm sure it looks familiar for you. But then you have like a huge, and you have like different files here that are going to be created. For instance, you're going to have your QMD, of course, which is, I don't know, in this case, I named it my new paper. I wasn't very creative. So you have my new paper QMD. You have some figures as an example. Your Bible, all your reference are going to be here in .bib file, and then you have some extensions that you can apply. And you will see that you have like this huge YAML at the beginning of your QMD that is going to represent, and it's already prepared as the format that we were looking for this journal. In this case, we have some things that are maybe obvious, but the title, the format which is already created, the date, the information about the authors, and their affiliations and emails in the case that you need it, the abstract, the summaries, etc., your keywords. So everything is going to be in the YAML of your .qmd, which is already created. So you don't have to start thinking about if you're forgetting about something or that or something like that. And one is to once you render, for instance, if you're rendering a journal paper, you're going to here just like changing the title. It's not super cool. So you just simply write your paper there. And then I'm changing the name of the other. That is how it looks like. It's like pretty much like any other document. And then it's going to look like the official paper. I'm not sure if I render it, but it looks like just like a paper. So, and to click on render, of course, you're going to click the render button, which is over here. So let's get started with the manuscript, which is the one that I'm most interested about. You can have like two different options. You can start from scratch. So you go to your terminal, you go to create, you type Quarto, create process manuscript, and whatever name you're using for your project, and then start adding manuscripts content or whatever. Or you can start by a sample from this Quarto manuscripts, which is here. And I really want to go with the GitHub account. So now it's your turn. If you're ready, you have a paper of your own. Maybe you can go with the option number 1, which is like starting a Quarto project from scratch and creating it. So go to, you will type in your terminal Quarto create project manuscript, and then you will have like something like this, and you have to choose between, it's going to ask you to choose between this VS Code or RStudio. Just don't open it. And then you can just go and create the project. So that is my recommendation. Or the option number 2, you can go to the Quarto manuscript templates, and from this option that you have here. So if you're following along, you can choose whatever you want, and then we are going to go on. So I'll give you just a few seconds. I'm going to go for a glass of water, and just give me like a hand when you are ready. So, or your thumbs, or whatever you want. How's it going? Okay, can we keep on? Okay, so we're going to keep on with the presentation. When you create the Quarto project from scratch, it will look something like this. This is like a minimal project for, okay. So I'm going to keep on because we're going to be short in time. So, and then we can go back if you just kind of get lost in the middle. So when you, as I was mentioning, when you create a Quarto manuscript from scratch, you're going to have like minimum folder. My throat is killing me. Winter here is hard. And this minimum folder is going to have these files that we see before. You are going to have the Quarto YAML, which is a specific Quarto YAML for the entire project. Your Quarto file, of course, the project file, and your Bible, and the things and the reference that you're going to use along your project with all the maybe I don't know the documents, books, all the references are going to go here in this .bib file. Much better. So, any questions about this? No. I think that this is good. This could be good. So, in your Quarto manuscript, minimal manuscript Quarto YAML, you're going to have something like this. So the Quarto YAML is going to have the information about the project itself. Of course, the project is a manuscript. The manuscript article, which in this case, we just have one article, which is the index.qmd. And some formats and some things that are cool to know. So we can also see that we have, in this format part, we have a bunch of formats. We have the HTML, a docs, a chats, which is for all the documents that some of the journals accept grabbing this archive, and that goes along with the manuscript to sort of have full like an archive of the file for all of the work that you're going to do inside your project. And then, of course, you have the PDF, which is common here, but we're going to use it too. And this is going to guide the entire project. The basic workflow, so when we're going to start working on this, is writing the manuscript in Quarto, is to make the changes for the article, whatever changes you're doing, and preview the changes with this render button. Something that I want to express the difference. It is not the same to have the render Quarto, to render the entire Quarto project to this render button. This render button works like some kind of previews. To perform by freezing some specific files in your project, but that is related to publications itself. It's more related to the GitHub account, and it's how it's going to communicate some things. So sometimes, generally, you use the freeze true, but in some specific cases, that is like very, very specific. So I'm going to drop you the link in Quarto for the publications apart, because it's related to not to the project, the manuscript project itself, but it's related to the publication process that we're not going to go through that today. But I'm going to leave you the documentation for that too. So, so I was telling you the difference between this button and typing in your terminal Quarto render, that is the final render is going to come from from the Quarto render by typing the Quarto render option in your terminal. This is just like a preview. So when it renders, it's going to look something like this. Yes. Here we are not using like a specific template, so it's not looking like that, like that. But if you take a look at here, you're going to see that you have your title, the others, when it was published, the abstract, and some code links, this is the cool part for me. You have the GitHub repo for the entire project. And of course, all of the cool things about this type of project. And then we have something that I love, which is this hypothesis test, or the hypothesis option, that you can highlight some specific test, and it's going to give you the option to annotate or highlight it. So you can have your notes there, and it's super easy to apply it. It's just one line that you set in your YAML. So just to make it short, the GitHub repository at Binder, the links. We're not going to see Binder today. I think that the GitHub repo is more important to have. And also in Quarto, you can have all of the features and the figure references. For instance, if I go here, I see that this is going to lead me, for instance, the table is going to open up the table there. So from the reading point of view, this is super comfortable to have. And then you have your table of contents, which is very similar to the ones that we used to have in our Markdown. And you have all of the notebooks that are related to this article. Maybe you do some computations and you have the article apart from that. So you can go and click here and open the computations. So that is something that is super cool. We're going to learn how to do that. And then we have all the other formats that we set on our YAML, like the PDF, the Word. So if you go there, I'm not sure if I'm going to, if you see here, if you can see it. But you have the same thing in PDF. Let me just go here. No, I don't want to do this. Okay, so there. So, and you can also have the Word. You're not going to see because you're not seeing my pop-up, but you can download the Word version which is the same for the PDF, and you have all the information about the others too. So now it's your turn. If you, I don't know if could you install the packages from the terminal? Or maybe not. So the idea is to open your QMD file and to render a preview of the manuscript that you are creating by hitting the render button that we saw before. And you will see the output from Quarto in the background jobs and pane. And then the preview will appear in the view pane. So you can change the title, and then you can save the file and render it again and see how it updates. So just give me a thumbs up if you're okay with that. And meanwhile, I'm going to have some mate, which is a local beverage in Argentina. Cool. Thank you, Kamal. Anyone else? Okay, so we're going to keep on. So once your QMD, one of the cool things I think about the QMD is that you have just one QMD and you rule all your formats. So you don't have to be preparing files in different formats. So you're just going to have one QMD and you're going to have from that QMD your Word, your PDF, all of your files. That is something that I love from this kind of stuff. So let me just show you how to do that. So you're going to go to your YAML Quarto file on the QMD. So, and you're going to type the different formats that you want. If you want to the docs, if you want the chats, or maybe you want the PDF. And then you can specify like some things that you want specifically for the PDFs. In this case, I'm doing the keep text true. So I have 4 outputs that are released in the HTML. And the ones that are looking back, they also have the docs, the chats, the PDF. And the comments hypothesis is true, which is remember the option that I mentioned before that you can like highlight and make some annotations and all the stuff is just this line. So cool. So it allows you to add the comments as we have seen before. And for the PDF, you also have these options in order to keep the reproducibility that we were talking at the beginning of the meeting. So we can keep the Markdown files generates with keep MD option. So maybe instead of putting keep text, you put keep MD. The notebook files generated, maybe if you want to keep the notebook files that you have generated in your maybe in Python, so you can keep IPYMD instead of keep instead of keep text. Or as I'm choosing here, the keep text, but that is going to keep the text. So the text files that I'm also adding here. So that is something that is useful for, I don't know, let's imagine that I'm reviewing some of your work and I want to go to something, some annotations or some specific metadata that you have about your job, so I can go specifically to that file, and it's going to be all available from the one that we have here. So something else that I'm forgetting about the YAML. I don't know. I think this is very helpful for work. So just going to the setting of the front matter of the index file. So in the index QMD, we're going with, or whatever other name that you have chosen for your QMD, we're going to have this the title, the author, and of course the names of the people who has written, and we have the possibility to add a lot of information or metadata about the others, like the ORC ID, the roles that they have in their investigation, their affiliation. I don't know if you work for, I don't know, for instance, I work for University of Buenos Aires, so I'm going to try to put here University of Buenos Aires, and all of my affiliations, and whatever other things that I need. The keywords of your paper, you can put them there with the keywords option. The abstract, so you can have like a small abstract here. The date, and you're going to add all of the files that you need for maybe for the reference. So you're going to add remember the reference.bib file, so it's going to go here. And the citation, of course, if we need to add the title and all the things about the citation. And of course, this is the same in other kinds of Markdown files, like the number sections through, which is super cool for you to have. You can, if you have, you're following the presentation, I forgot to mention this. If you're following the presentation, you can copy this to your keyboard by clicking this button here. I'm not sure if it's thing because it's like very light and small. And you have like a copy to clipboard here. So you just copy and it's going to copy all of the text here. So we're going to use computations in the body of our text. So we can do that by adding the values directly in the article text and using the R expressions here, like here. For example, if I want to in the index Q&D, I'm standing in my paper. So I write based on the data, the article included in 1971, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to use the R, and I'm going to use the computations here. If you have already used our Markdown, this is very, very similar. So you're going to, I have the average between eruptions and 1, and it's going to show the computation as based on blah, blah, blah. I'm going to have the computation here. So it's 79.8, blah, 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 years of average. So that is how I add computations inside my my text. I'm just calling R, which is the code that I'm using, and then just make a round average here. You can use the chunk counts for computations using the label. This is super super easy to use, and it's very useful. So you have to, so we have already seen the echo option. Remember the echo option. So we can embed calculations for reference. In this chunk, the label option is used to add the identifier to the code cell, and its output, for example, to allow to cross-reference in the table that we're going to use. So by using this fig over here, the fig is required to figure for the figure that we're going to cross-reference, but the suffix is in the case in this case timeline is up to you. So we'll get to the cross-reference after in a moment. So don't worry. But now the important thing is to understand that the fig tab provides the caption for the text to display the figure. And in the manuscript, and the fig out, which is this is the fig cap, and the fig out is going to give us the the alternative text for the figure. No, it's going to be very helpful for the web page manuscript to meet accessibility guidelines. You're going to need accessibility guidelines if you're going to be publishing online. Remember that. Sorry. So remember, this is the fig tab. We're going to have the text under the figure, and this is going to be for accessibility. And this is going to control the height and the width of the figure that we're going to create here. So I'm just, this is creating like a small plot, and it's going to add that figure. This is the label for the entire chunk, and for the figure that is going to be using the cross-reference and all of the other information. Is this clear? because you're going to use it a lot. So for citations, what we are going to have here for citations is all of the reference that you're going to use. So I'm just dragging the citations here for Jose Maria Moreno Garcia, and all of the names of the journal, the name of the journal, the year of the journal, the month of the journal, and all of the information about the journal. So just is going to be an article and Moreno 2019, and it's going to go there. So that is how the reference look like. And then you're going to be able to use it. So when you, for instance, I have this study for magma systems at Moreno, which is the citation that I was going to use. When you render this, it's going to look like this. So that is the cool thing about having the citations there. And when you go over it, it's going to show all of the information. That is, you are hovering over, if I hover in my document around this, it's going to show me something like this. And then you click it and you go to the references at the end of the article. This is something that is so sweet to have, and it's going to solve you so much time, believe me. I wish something like this happened since when I was studying at the university. So another common style to place the stations is with the parentheses. So you can achieve this by enclosing the citation syntax in the sequence brackets. For instance, I'm going to use it here. So I add simply these brackets here, and with the displays, it looks like this. This is in sociology and social science, we use it a lot. So probably you too. So Quarto supports different syntax and variations to include the page numbers, the chapters, to exclude other names or other cool possibilities. So if you want to learn more about it, you can go to the citation documents that I'm giving here, the HTML documentation. So you can grab it there, and you can see all of the ways that you can use this citation. But I think that these are the ones that we use the most, or that are most common. So I invite you to add a citation to your BIB file and use it. So go to your BIB file and add a citation, go to the index QMD file and use the citation. And then you can render your file and check it. I have a type. And check the changes. So it's your turn, go. And let me know when you're ready. Did you get how to add the citation? Have any questions? Okay, so we're going to go along with the presentation and we're going to move into the cross-reference. This is, okay. So we're going to move into the cross-references, which is something that you're also going to use a lot on your papers. So Quarto can generate cross-reference that keep like track of numbering and linking for you. So you don't have to mind about remembering which table it was or which figure it was. So the general syntax for the cross-references is also for this add followed by the label that you're using. Remember the labels that we were using in the code chunks? So for example, to reference the timeline figure, remember the timeline figure that we were using, you could write to render the cross-reference, like something like this. And then it should be used as this. So we're going to use it like 8 interruptions have been recorded since late 40s, and you use this the fig timeline, and when it's rendered, it's going to look something like this, figure 1. So you don't have to remember which figure. So it's going to be so much easier for you to use it. And then we're going to see some tips on how to use it with the visual mode, and it's going to be super smooth for you. So something that you should remember is the prefix that we use for different things. So for figure, we're going to use the fig dash, and it will render as figure 1, figure 2, figure 3, and whatever it is. For tables, we're going to use the TBL dash, and it will render as table 2, 1, 3, 4. And for equations, we're going to use the EQ dash, and it will render as equations. And for sections that you can also cross-reference on your paper, you're going to use sec or SEC dash, and it will render a section, okay? So something that you should keep an eye on is when you cross-reference sections in your YAML, your YAML document is going, the header must also include the number sections too, because you're not going to have section numbers if you don't update the section numbers option in the YAML. So you can add the label to a section, heading included in the curly braces. And after the heading, for instance, you go with data methods and these curly braces, and then you have the hashtag and the section name, which is data methods. And then you can add the reference sections in the text by adding the text and the add reference, like data methods and discussion, add section methods. The same way that we did before, like this, but with the sections. So the cross-referencing visual mode is super cool. So you go in here, in this example, what I'm doing is to simply adding with the visual mode a table. I'm just creating a table with 3 rows and 2 columns, and I'm adding a caption to the table, so I can cross-reference it. So I don't remember the name of the table that I did, the caption that I use here. And then what I'm going to do is to add that reference by using the add reference thing. I think that this GIF is not working, so let me just show you if I can open R. So you can see how I'm going to use it. Let me see if I can share this screen. Are you seeing my R screen? Yeah. Okay. So let's imagine I add this table here. If I want to reference this table over here, so I'm going I just add the table, which is by clicking here, and I am the table. And that's the table that I already added there. I wrote the table, blah, blah, blah. And then I go here and I said cross-reference, and I'm going to cross-reference that table. So I'm going to look for the table, and I have all my tables here. So I just choose the table that I want to use, which is words volcanoes, always being so exaggerated. So when I render, it's going to say table 2, just table 2. Just let's see if we can render. So you can see how the file is going to look for. And it's not showing the document. Let me see if I can get the document. That's because I'm connected here. Okay. Dun, 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 dun. I have to render it again, but it's going to take forever because I'm not installing it. There it goes. So when I render the file, I'm going to have the table 1, which is referring to this table here, and I'm going to have the table 2, which is the table that we have already created. And it took me just a few moments. I don't have to remember which one is connected or how it is connected or where I left the table or whatever it is. So just let's go again for the other presentation. Go here. Cool. So that is how you're going to cross-reference with the visual mode. And that is why if you're not familiarized with the So if you're not familiarized with writing code in the source mode, the visual mode is super cool, and you don't have to remember how to write the options, and that is why it's so exciting for me. Especially if you come from a background of social science as I do. So for static figures, it's the same that in our Markdown. So you're going to have to use this exclamation sign, and between brackets, you're going to use to put the name of the image, or if you don't want to use the name of the image, you can just left it blank. And then you're going to refer to the images, where it is located. I highly recommend to use to create a folder for the images, name images or IMG as you want to. And then you can use because it's going to be more clear for you in the future. And by using this hashtag thing name of the image, you're inside the curly braces for the following image that you can provide to the reader like a label for the cross-reference, which is super comfortable when you're reading. So you just have to add the image as we did before, and then between these curly braces, you just add the thing map and an alternative text as we did in the echo with the echo options. That is exactly the same, works the same way. So then this is spectacular. You can alter the embed codes from other notebooks. So imagine that you have in the structure of your project, you have other notebooks where you maybe did some calculations on charts and things. So you can bring the figures that you made in those notebooks or on those Quarto files or whatever you're using. So you're going to, between these two braces and these signs, you're going to write the embed notebooks, of course, the name of the file or the QMD file that you're making the calculation, and you're going to call for the figure in that file to bring it to your paper. So you don't have to do all of your calculations and things inside one file. So you can add as many files as calculations you have. For instance, I made some cluster analysis in another file, and I'm going to bring them to this paper. And I don't have to do all the calculations inside my paper. So I just have to drag the image that I need. And then the person that is going to be reviewing your paper can also go to that file because it's going to be part of your project. So that is something that is super cool in terms of reproducibility. So you have just to create a folder for your notebooks, which is in this case notebooks. And then add your notebooks for calculations and charts and results and whatever you need. And maybe add some references in your manuscript to the reference here, like I did here. And then use the fig labels just to call the labels, to call the figures. So in this case, I did the same. I went to, I'm not sure if it's going to be shown. So I'm going to these embed notebooks, and I'm bringing the information, which is in a complete different file. That is the file that I'm looking for. I go to my notebooks. I go to the file. And then I can see the figure that is already there. But it's bringing it to the main paper. So you don't have to put everything in one file. And then to publish, with this we are finishing, and we have a few minutes for questions. You have to go to the GitHub pages and simply type Quarto publish. It's not very complicated. There's nothing else to say about that. But you have to get connected your GitHub account into your files that you are already working on. So I encourage you to work with this kind of method to have all of your process related to your GitHub repo, and it's going to be safer for you. So what else can we do with Quarto? Because today we just speak about these papers and the uses that we're going to make of it for the academic life. But part of the academic life is also just, for instance, making presentations, and you can make presentations like the one that I'm doing here today that have some cool options. If you're teaching, also you can have like this kind of board here option, and you can have, for instance, this pencil here, which is super cool. And I'm leaving here you like an example of another presentation and how it works with, because we are not using this today, but you can use all of the cool things about Quarto. You can use it in your presentation here. And this is a small presentation about penguins, which is a library that probably you already know. You can also do dashboards. In this case, we are seeing a cool dashboard, and they are super easy to publish. You don't need like a special platform, and you can do it like HTML standalone files, and it's going to be super cool to add something else to your everyday results and share it with the community. So you can add like different kinds of pages in your dashboard. It has these cool things that you can expand the table that you're seeing. And all of the things about dashboards are super cool, and you can access them. And you can also have your personal website, maybe to publish all of the work that you're doing. Maybe if you are writing some papers, presentations, all of the things that you do, some bio about yourself, connections to your other networks and social networks, and that's it. And also, of course, you can write your own books. So maybe if you want to, you're starting with this journal, and then you can move into a book. That is a cool way to go. So I encourage you to take a look on how they work. And there are also a lot of books. This is about epidemics, but you can go around the Quarto gallery and see what other brushes we have. So that will be all for today. I don't know if you have, I wanted to have a few minutes if you have any questions, or if you want to go again through some of the exercises that I proposed.